NZXT Cam. Monitor your games while playing. To learn more about it, check out the description. Hey everyone, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it's time for Badger's Picks for the week of March 22nd. We're going to see who's free this week and which 4 champions I'm going to recommend. Free this week, there's going to be Darius, Jace, Calista, Lissandra, Renekton, Rengar, Sona, Soraka, Twitch, and Zac. And for my first champion recommendation for this week, we're going to give it over to Calista. Calista is still a very prominent and strong carry in the current meta. She has found herself in a position of nerfs and buffs over time, but it's always left her in a very valuable state. Now, one of the things to mention though with Calista is she's quite different compared to most ADCs. I'd say if you're just thinking about ADCs in general, Calista and Jhin are the oddball out of the bunch champions when it comes to that role. With Jhin, it's really all about positioning and how you shoot and how you fight and where you stand, which is important for all AD carries. It's very important. But with Calista, it's all about how you manipulate your movement to be in those positions, because with any of the normal ones you can walk around and that's all fun and dandy and then shoot. Obviously she walks around too, but when you are trying to kite people or string your auto attacks and your hops together, that takes time to learn and practice. So if you don't own her, this is a fantastic time to try her out. And in all honesty, if you've never played her before or you have very little experience with her, just join a custom game or a bot game and just hop around in there for a little bit, because it really does feel quite different if you're not used to the champion. But she is a very strong pick and something that is very good to learn, or if you get really good with her, you can carry pretty hard. So try her out this week if you do not own her. My second recommendation for this week is going to go over to Soraka. Soraka did just see some changes, but actually people are saying some of these are buffs. Now, it doesn't give her as much ridiculous like healing power to allies, but actually her Q is better now in some crazy ways. So take a look at the buffs that have come to Soraka. She's always been in a good spot. I've had her pretty high up on the tier list for a while now. I think I somewhat called her strongness before a lot of other people even did. But I did miss the last tier list. I apologize, but there will be a new patch now, and we'll just have skipped the one. But she's still a good pick right now. I think she may have fallen down a little bit, but only because people are trying to relearn how to manipulate her new playstyle, since it's just a slightly different with the Q and maxing order. But people will get the hang of it, and if you don't own her or you haven't played her in a while, now would be a good time to maybe try her out again and see if you like the way she plays. My third recommendation for the week is actually going to be another support. It's going to be Sona. Now, the reason why I'm going to recommend Sona is because I know some people don't enjoy playing support, and that is unfortunate sometimes. But sometimes you need to play support, because whether or not your friends just have you on a rotate with everybody else, where you just all take turns playing support if none of you like to play it, I highly recommend Sona, actually. She's not the world's strongest support, tier list wise, but she can still be impactful. And the one reason why I'm going to recommend her if you don't like to play support is you feel like you can actually contribute. You can control team fights when you want to start them, if you want to be aggressive with her, flash crescendo and do that if you want, or just use it to peel really well. It works both ways. Also, because of her empowered auto attacks with her power chords, and being able to actually have a significant amount of poke in lane. If you kind of want to play her as a damage and more of a super annoyance support who does lots of work in lane, she can do that really well. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, where you can like, hey, I can speed you up and I can peel for you and I can heal you, but while we're in lane, I'm gonna be a little bit aggressive and maybe poke a little bit more, get those powered attacks off, and just be a little bit more of a harassing support, which can be way more fun for people who like to support, to be honest. So try her out this week if you don't have her and you are maybe going to try a new support for someone who typically doesn't play that role. And for my final recommendation for this week, I'm going to give this over to a champion who I think is actually a little stronger than I give him credit for. That's going to actually be Zac. So Zac lately, I've seen a couple people, and I don't know if I'm just running into like Zac mains who just are amazing, but realistically, I've been seeing some Zacs that just do crazy amounts of damage early game. They've actually been building him runic echoes into guys and then transitioning slowly into tank. But if you can actually rush some of those offensive stats on him, his early game like ganks and damage are just way higher than they really should be. I don't like it personally because I don't play Zac, and when it happens to me, I don't like it. But it's really powerful. So if you want to play some Zac this week, try out, instead of going Cinder Hulk and tank or Cinder Hulk and slight damage then into tank. Just go damage into tank. The early aggression that you have with his early ganks, because they are really good, make sure you gank with that damage, because that's how you will continue to snowball your lead. Just make sure you do that, and like Runic Echoes, Haunting Guys, finish that into a Liandry's, maybe not right away. You can probably then start to pick up like a Sunfire Cape if you needed to. That's even more damage with some tank ability too coming in. It's really strong, to be honest. You should try him out this week. He is honestly pretty damn good if you're skilled with the early ganks and you just understand the map awareness and how much of an impact that can have. Those are the champions that are free this week. Obviously, play any of the champions that you would like to play. Those are just the 4 I recommend you try out if you don't maybe own them or you don't normally play them. I just try to mix it up randomly too in the free week when I pick, because that's how we roll. If there's a box around any of these champions portraits, that means you can click on it. It'll take you to a building guide of some sort for that champion. You should be check that out, or maybe just a video. Who knows? But be sure to check that out. Let me know who you're going to be playing too down below in the comments. I always like to know what champions you guys like to play. Maybe that gives me insight on which champions I should maybe make build for. Who knows? So leave a comment and leave a like if you could too. I always appreciate that, because it's free for you and it makes my insides feel fuzzy. But other than that, I wish all of you the very best of luck this week on the Fields of Justice.